welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because it is going to be essentially a part 2 for a video I posted last week talking about 10 Sephora bestsellers that I think are worth the money. Today we're talking about 10 Sephora bestsellers that I don't think are worth the money. Dun dun dun! I drew inspiration for the original video idea, the 10 that I think are worth the money, from Andrea Marilano. God darn it, my husband just has to interrupt my filming. One moment. Okay, before I was rudely interrupted, I believe I was saying that I drew inspiration for the original video idea about the 10 products that I think are worth the money from Andrea Marilano. So I'll leave her channel link down below, as well as her video that I drew inspiration for the original from. Hope this is making sense. I'll also link the video that I did talking about the 10 products that I think are worth the money in case you guys are interested in watching that. But if you're interested in hearing about some products that I think are crap, basically, just like not worth it, kind of just like you're flushing money down the toilet, you hear me? Like, these products are just not worth it in my opinion, and yet there they sit on the Sephora's bestsellers list. If you guys are interested in hearing about that, then stay tuned. But first, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider doing so before you go. I post videos every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And without further ado, let's get into some shitty products. Okay, most of these products I no longer own because they were that bad, or I finished them up and I just no longer have them. And the few that I do still have in my collection, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I was just too lazy to go grab for this video. So instead, I will just scoot over to the side and I will put a picture of the product right here to my right. Okay, so starting with product number 1, it is the Nars Creamy Radiant Concealer. Now, this was one of the first concealers that I ever purchased, and actually at the time I thought I liked that concealer, but as I got closer to the end of the tube, I started to realize that it felt like a pretty dry concealer to me, at least in my opinion. I felt like it aged me a little bit. It made my under eyes look a little bit aged, and I just did not like the way that this sat underneath my eyes. For a creamy concealer, I feel like there's a lot more creamy concealers, like actually creamy concealers, on the market, and this just wasn't a concealer that was worth $30 in my opinion. I will have all of the products as well as their prices linked down below in case you are interested in learning more about them, but for me, the Nars Creamy Radiant Concealer just did not do it. And speaking of Nars, another product that I don't think is worth the money is the Nars Naturally Radiant Foundation. So many people rave about this foundation, and I truly just don't understand. It is, I believe, $49, and at first I thought mine might be a shade thing, and my foundation is it's too light for me even at my fairest, which could be part of it, but it also just does not look good on the skin. I feel like it sits on top of my skin, it never sinks in, it doesn't look natural. It might look a little bit radiant, but it just doesn't look natural, and I don't like it, and I don't think it's worth $49. I don't know why everyone includes it in their Sephora VIB sale buying guides. It's just buy the Too Faced Born This Way foundation for $39, which is $10 less. You can save that $10 and put it towards another makeup product. You can put it towards a couple of lattes. You can use that $10 anywhere. And on top of that, you are getting a foundation that is going to look a lot better on your skin, no matter what your skin type. At least that's how I feel, in my humble opinion. I talked about the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in my last video about products that are worth the money. Nars Naturally Radiant, not worth your dollars, okay? Okay, another foundation that I want to talk about is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, which retails for $64, which is ridiculous. And this was one of the foundations that I purchased a couple years ago when everybody was raving about it, literally everyone. And I don't even, I cannot remember the last time I actually heard someone talk about this foundation. And now this wasn't a bad foundation, and I'd actually be interested to try it again years later when I feel like I understand what I'm looking for in my makeup a little bit better. We've matured a little bit, I've broken up with a few foundations, I've grown as a person, I know what I'm looking for now. And it's almost I kind of want to go back to that foundation to find out if there's still a connection there, but from what I remember, there wasn't a great connection. Do you guys get what I mean? Anyway, I feel like this is just incredibly overpriced. I remember feeling I wanted it to make my skin look flawless, And it looked, again, just kind of like foundation. It wasn't like overly full coverage, which actually I prefer more of a medium coverage foundation. But for $64 damn, like that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And this is one that like I don't think it's like a bad product. I just don't think it's worth $64. Like you're truly just, you're paying for the Armani name. And like, it's not even like you pounce the foundation on your face and then your face says Armani. Like if someone asks what foundation you're wearing, then they'll know you're wearing Armani. But if no one asks, then like no one even really, it's not like, you know, at least with the Louis Vuitton, like you're wearing it and people know like, okay, she's wearing Louis Vuitton. You're wearing a foundation that no one is really gonna know is, you know? The Laura Mercier No Translucent Powder. I don't get this. However, okay, here's what I'll say about this. I do have dry skin, and this is one that like, it just looked hella cakey underneath my eyes. Like it looked bad. But when I started using this, I didn't understand makeup enough. So like, I just thought maybe it was like user error. But I've gone back, like now that I feel like I've learned a little bit more, again, I've matured, I've grown, and I still don't like this. It's just too drying underneath my eyes. If you have oily skin, I could see why you would like this, but I don't know. For me personally, and if you have dry skin, like I don't think this is worth the $39. Plus, I feel like there are other loose powders out there on the market that are good that you can purchase for less than the $39, so not worth the money. The Benefit Professional Primer. Okay, again, I have dry skin. I don't have oily skin. I'm not always looking for a pore filling primer, but this is just such a bad primer in my opinion. It balls up, it pills up. No matter what I do, I cannot get this primer to even like apply to my skin, let alone to see how a foundation sits on top of it. I ended up decluttering this, and normally with primers, I feel like I'll find a way to like power through the primer and get all of my money's worth out of it. But with this one, I just couldn't. I didn't like it. I don't understand why it's on the Sephora Bestsellers list. There are plenty of more pore filling primers on the market that I feel like are better. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if I had oily skin or preferred a pore filling primer, I would feel differently. But for me, definitely not worth the $32. Okay, the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. Now, this is like my opinion. Like it's $24. I personally don't think it's worth the money because I can use the concealer, I can use the Milani eyeshadow primer, I can use the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, which I know is a little bit more, but I prefer that to the Urban Decay. I could see if you like the formula of the Urban Decay Primer Potion, why you would think it's worth the money, because from like everyone I've seen pan this, it lasts forever and ever and ever. But I didn't like it that much. I've only tried the original. I feel like there's one maybe called like Eden or something that people say is the best one. Maybe I just need to try not the original, but I just feel like it kind of performs very similarly to other less expensive options, and therefore I don't feel like it's worth the $24. Next on my list is the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. This retails for $34, and for me this was just kind of like a meh primer. Like, it's supposed to be hydrating. I feel like the name's cute, like, oh haha, you have a hangover and like you need to like hydrate your, like, that's cute and all, but I just felt like functionality wise, like it almost just felt like an extra step. Like, it was slightly hydrating. I don't feel like it increased the wear time of my makeup by anything, and it didn't give me like any other benefits to the skin that would make me want to go out and repurchase this. There are plenty of other primers on the market that I would buy before buying this. You guys know the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer is by far my favorite. I also really enjoy the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer, which I feel like would be a good alternative to this. Now, I know the Smashbox one is more expensive if you get the full size by $8, but I think it's worth that extra $8 just because it's so much more hydrating and just comfortable on the skin. I just personally don't think the Too Faced Hangover is worth it. Next up, the Huda Liquid Lipsticks, and it's been a minute since I've actually worn a Huda Beauty Liquid Lipstick, but I have tried these numerous times in multiple shades, and for me, what I like about them is that it's a thin formula, but I feel like they wear away after like 3 hours. I feel like they wear away in a way that isn't flattering, and I feel like they're just not like a liquid lipstick that you can trust. Like, the second an opportunity comes to just like turn its back on you and go be with someone else, or like, you know, wear away on the burrito that you're eating, or like, you know, you just can't trust this liquid lipstick. I think that there are way better formulas on the market. It was also fairly drying from what I remember, which is ironic because it wasn't like super long lasting. I do like her shade range. Like, I love the shades, but for me personally, it's just not my favorite formula. I don't think that they're worth $20. I love the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula. I feel like you get more product in those tubes, and they're like $18 as opposed to $20. So I don't think the Hudas are worth 20 bucks. I feel like they don't deserve to be on the bestsellers list. Next up is another foundation. This is the Cover FX Power Play Foundation. It retails for $44. Now, if you have oily skin, I could see how maybe like you would like this, and I could see like why maybe it would be on the bestsellers list. But for me personally, it was way too drying. Like, I literally have to work in sections of my face to apply this because it dries down so quickly. I do like to mix it with my MAC strobe cream, and I can make it work and be less drying in that way, but I wish I did not purchase this. I don't like it at all, especially by itself. I should have known because it is a matte foundation, but if you have dry or even normal skin, I don't feel like this is going to work for you, even though I know that there's dry skinned people out there that actually do like this. For me, it's an absolute no-go. I don't see why it's on the bestsellers list, and I don't think it's worth the $44. And then the last product on my list is the ABH liquid lipsticks. These are just so incredibly drying. These also retail for $20, and I get that ABH, I feel like, was one of the first brands to come out with liquid lipsticks, especially in like the wide shade, like a wide variety of shades. But I mean, it's 2019 now. Like, I feel like maybe they should reformulate. They're just so dry, so uncomfortable to wear. Like, I feel like I wear these for 30 minutes and I want to like rip my lips off my face. And I have super dry, like historically dry lips, like chronically dry lips. And I also have chronically dry lips, so I also have to be pretty careful about the liquid lipstick formula that I'm using. Otherwise, it literally looks like my lips are like raisins in the Sahara Desert. So the ABH liquid lipstick formula, I just, especially now, like, I feel like so many people talk about how they don't like this. I was really surprised to see it on the bestsellers list. But that is my list of 10 items on the Sephora bestsellers list that I don't think is worth it or are worth the money. You guys will have to leave me a comment and let me know what products are on there that you don't think should have made the cut. But other than that, thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.